in the news. Hundreds of protesters in several cities marked the celebration of International Human Rights Day. The Senate is reopening its investigation on the dengue controversy as tens of thousands of children are at risk of getting sick. And Miss Universe winners are loving Filipino couture. We show you their historic runway show. Good evening, I'm Maya Rodriguez. Thanks for joining us. Today is International Human Rights Day. On this day in 1948, the United Nations General Assembly adopted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. It's the first global pact to promote human rights. As a state signatory, the Philippines must uphold the human rights of its citizens. But militant groups are marking this day with protests in several cities. Makoy Popioco joins us live from Mendiola, Manila. Makoy, what are the protesters saying?
Stop the killings. That's what hundreds of protesters are calling for in the streets of Manila. Groups representing the women, farmers, indigenous groups, jeepney operators and drivers, and also the urban poor have gathered to mark the International Human Rights Day. They want justice and an end to the spate of alleged abuses and murders committed against human rights activists and all the vulnerable sectors. Organizers say more than 5,000 protesters have joined them in today's demonstrations. And these protesters have marched from Iwasang Bonifacio all the way to the Bonifacio Shrine in Manila. Apart from placards, the protesters have set up creative installations like a tableau on extrajudicial killings composed of a mock-up of a cadaver wrapped in a black garbage bag. The demonstrators also printed the photos and names of people who they believe are victims of extrajudicial killings.
James ay panay sa tuyaw ang lumaban sa yung pumasok ng malalaking pagmina doon sa aming bayan ng Compostela. Pag pumasok yung malalaking hindi man yung sa mga tao yung pumasok yung malaking bigay. Yan man sa mamayaman. Hindi yung makinabang yung mahihirap ng malalaking pagmina pumasok.
We are not terrorists. We are human. We are activists. Mga mamamayang aktibo sa sistemang umiiral sa lipunan at hindi makatarungan na ang itugon ng Estado ay pagpatay sa mamamayan.
The head of a militant group, Bayan, Renato Reyes, is also here, along with other prominent activists, including former Social Welfare Secretary Judy Tagualo, Bonnie Ilagan, and theater actress Monique Wilson. But more importantly, the show of the force come from the ordinary people. Some have traveled from as far as Mindanao to join today's demonstrations. Mai.
Makoy, I understand the protesters have gathered at Daliwasang Bonifacio as early as noon. What will happen now?
Well, the protesters are now marching from the Bonifacio Shrine, and we're here at Mendiola waiting for them to arrive. And the protesters will have another program here, and we're expecting a series of cultural performances from the protesters. And the highlight of tonight's program would be the burning of the effigy of President Rodrigo Duterte. Mike.
Makoy Popioco there, reporting to us live from Manila. More protests to mark International Human Rights Day in Baguio, Cebu, and Manila. The group Kilusan para sa Pambansang Demokrasya took a stand against supposed attempts to establish a revolutionary government. They say this is the government's move to install President Duterte as a dictator. Meanwhile, the I Defend movement also staged its own protest. In Mendiola, it condemned the war on drugs, which they say continues to kill poor Filipinos and threatens human rights activists. On the drug war, Malacanang insists the International Criminal Court cannot meddle with the investigations here. Speaking to CNN Philippines, presidential spokesperson Harry Roque says the ICC cannot exercise jurisdiction over cases here if our own courts can and are willing to handle them. He says the president himself is even facing impeachment complaints here. Now, this shows Philippine courts are able to prosecute cases.
The ICC was never intended to be a court of first recourse. people who have complaints against extralegal killings must file before Philippine courts full stop. And as far as I know, there are now 3 pending cases in Philippine courts for extralegal killings, and the Supreme Court has acted on one. It has granted the writ of amparo in favor of victims in Payatas, and the Supreme Court has heard oral arguments on 2.
But Senator Laila de Lima believes otherwise. The senator says the government has basically adopted a policy of killing drug suspects. She adds this is why the International Criminal Court cannot expect the Duterte administration to investigate alleged extrajudicial killings. Joining us now in the studio, Cristina Conti, Secretary General of the National Union of People's Lawyers, or NUPL. Good evening, Attorney Cristina. Thank you for coming over.
Yes, thank you too. Good evening.
Okay, the NUPL is handling, like you said, 3 alleged EJK cases. Tell us about one case at kung gaano kahirap i-pursue ito sa korte.
The first case that we filed, this is for the Bonifacio double murder, which we thought at the beginning was a palit-ulo scheme. They killed Luis Bonifacio when in their own reports they said that they had killed Luisito. They are brothers and clearly 2 different people. The son of Luis, Gabriel Lois, did not want to leave his father upstairs. The police had come barging in while they were sleeping, and they asked everybody else to go down, but the eldest son. So the eldest son stays with the father. Within 5 minutes or so, they were both killed upstairs, and it was the police report said that it was supposed to be a shootout. It was supposed to have been a buy-bust operation. We filed the case for murder against, well, ironically, well, actually, we think fortunately, against Police Superintendent Ali Jose Duterte, the nephew of President Duterte himself. He was one of the police officers who was, I think, reassigned from Davao, or Mindanao at least, from Davao to what we believe to oversee the drug operations, anti-drug operations in Manila as well.
Maraming kaso ang ganito, no? Sabi nyo nga may pattern, yung mga walang due process na pinapatay na lang. So, paano, may mga witnesses ba ito? Paano to na idudulog sa korte?
Yes, dito po sa kasong ito sa Bonifacio double murder, ang witnesses namin ay yung mismong mga kasama nila habang natutulog sila. So, ang butas na lang po namin ay yung mismong pagpatay nila, which would be about 10-15 minutes. Meron kaming witness right before they were killed and after they were killed. In 2 other cases that we have witnesses who can say that sa mga community po ito kasi ng urban poor, magkakaroon na lang ng clearing operation or pagsusona. Sasabihin ng police, lumabas kayong lahat sa bahay nyo. Magkakaroon ng operasyon, tapos saka sila pababalikin. Apparently, nagkaroon na pala ng buy-bust, quote-unquote, barilan sa loob ng kung anumang area na ito. Itong pattern na sinasabi ng mga tao, masasabi mo na ngang modus operandi. This is how they really do police operations.
So, human rights groups say there are thousands of victims of extrajudicial killings. Pero bakit ilan lang ang mga nasa korte ngayon? Ilang kaso lang?
So far, I think the running figure is 13,000 killed in drug-related killings. I think there are at least 19 cases filed in courts or filed before the prosecutors at present. That's not including the civil cases, the writ of amparo, the prohibition case that we have filed. Now, for these 19 victims, let's say that's 19 out of 13,000. These are 19 well-documented cases where we have the witnesses, the evidence, and paperwork. Yung kalakhan po sa ibang namatay ay namatay under circumstances na mahirapan kang kunin yun eh. Evidence, witness, paperwork. Yung iba, natagpuan na lang napatay. Kumbaga itinapon na lang sa isang lugar, may balot ng tape, plastic. Kung meron man o wala na placard na nakalagay na sila ay natokhang or sila ay pusher. Now, in other cases where there is paperwork, kumbaga palalabasin po nila na merong police operation, that it was a legitimate police operation, the the paperwork itself is sketchy in the sense that one of the cases that we filed says that there was only one shooter and that he went along with, I think, 2 other persons. But from the reports, from the witnesses, they said there were more than 2 at least. So we think there is a pattern aside from the killings. There's a pattern of covering up these killings. And then they identify lower-ranked policemen to take the fall. Sa kaso pong yun na sinampa namin, PO1 lang yung pananagutin nila. No other names on the paper, not even the name of the superior.
Okay, Attorney Cristina, can you tell us, ano ba ang tulong na maibibigay ng mga grupong katulad ng NUPL doon sa mga witnesses na gustong lumantad or doon sa mga pamilyang gustong mapursu ang mga cases na ito? Ano ang mga rights ng mga witnesses at ng pamilya?
Ang witnesses kasi, ang una nilang tatanungin sa inyo ay, pag kami po ba ay lumantad, pag kami po ba ay nagtestigo, magiging safe po ba kami? That is one thing that the law cannot guarantee fully, or not even lawyers can guarantee fully. That is why we work with human rights organizations like Rise Up for Life and for Rights. This is a church-based group that allows us to focus on the legal aspects of their cases, of their participation. As witnesses, supposedly they should be protected from further prosecution. But that does not preclude the prosecution from implicating them in the cases as well. Kung minsan kasi yung witnesses mo, yung nagturo, o kaya kasama rin sa drug trade. So, kakasuhan din nila yan. So, isa yan sa mga problema. Pero, sa totoo lang, hindi na ngayon yung mga problema nila kung haharap pa sila sa korte, paano nila haharapin yung korte, mag-i-English ba sila or magtatagalog. What they're worried for is their lives, their very lives.
Okay, today we celebrate International Human Rights Day. If there's one message you can tell the government, if there's one message you want to say to President Duterte, what will it be?
It would be to stop the killings. Not only to stop the killings in the sense that he has to order them to stop, but he has to stop the culture of impunity. He's telling the officers that whoever kills in the name of the drug war, ako ang sagot sa inyo. That's wrong. Patently wrong because he cannot guarantee anybody free of accountability from all these abuses and from all these human rights violations.
Okay, maraming salamat, Cristina. Thank you for coming over.
Thank you as well.
Cristina Conti, NUPL Secretary General. Still ahead, with tens of thousands of children at risk, senators want answers from those involved in the dengue mess. Know what to expect in the Senate hearing tomorrow. And the Christmas spirit fills the air through songs and treats. We'll give you a glimpse of that when Newsroom Weekend returns. To our Facebook Live viewers, thank you for joining us tonight. Ngayong linggo, I hope you're having a good weekend. So, stay tuned lang. Marami pa tayong storya. I think may i-announce kaming breaking news, ano? Mamaya pagbalik namin from this gap. Coming up next, we'll tell you kung ano ang aasahan natin bukas. Magre-resume na ang Senate investigation dun sa dengue controversy. Inibitahan nila sila Health Secretary Enrique Ona, yung former Health Secretary, and also si former Health Secretary Janet Garin under the Pinoy administration, and also the current Health Secretary. Dito nga tungkol sa dengue mess, alamin nila kung may collusion nga ba dun sa mga officials of the maker of the vaccine, Sanofi Pasteur, kung may collusion ba na mapadali ang pag-implement ng mass vaccination program dito sa Pilipinas. Yan ang aabangan natin bukas. Also, magre-resume na rin yung Senate ay yung House Justice Committee hearing, continuation ito ng hearing ng impeachment complaint against Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno. So, may mga story pa tayo tungkol may follow-up actually si Rex Remitio, yung correspondent natin tungkol dun sa Dengvaxia controversy. Abangan nyo po yan. Tapos, mamaya, I hope to read some of your messages tungkol sa top story natin ngayon. We're celebrating International Human Rights Day. So, sana may mga mensahe kayo, ano? Tsaka dun sa mensahe nyo rin para sa Duterte administration on this day that we mark International Human Rights Day. At I hope we have time para batiin ang iba sa inyo. I can start now with greeting some of you. Dengvaxia, si Dantoy Oya, may message na siya tungkol sa Dengvaxia. Sabi niya, Dengvaxia ang dapat imbestigahan. Jordan Casaberde, may message din. Stop the drugs. Ito yung kanyang, kasi issue pa rin ng extrajudicial killings, ano? So, marami pang storya, antabayanan nyo lang po. Thank you for joining us. This is the newsroom on CNN Philippines. Welcome back. Heads up motorists, the MMDA starts testing the use of the carpool lane on EDSA tomorrow. Private vehicles carrying at least 2 people as well as motorcycles will be the only ones allowed to use the carpool lane that's on the leftmost lane of EDSA. Now, this should encourage carpooling to reduce the number of vehicles and ease traffic, especially during rush hour. Once the dry run is over on December 18th, violators will be apprehended using the no-contact policy and fined 500 pesos. The Senate is investigating the controversial mass dengue vaccine program. Lawmakers want to know if there was any irregularity in the procurement of the multi-billion pesos worth of vaccines. Our Rex Remitio tells us what to expect.
3.5 billion pesos in taxpayers' money possibly wasted, and tens of thousands of Filipino children now at risk. Now the Senate wants to dig deeper into the controversy surrounding the dengue vaccine, Dengvaxia. It all started when pharmaceutical giant Sanofi Pasteur revealed that vaccinated children who were never exposed to dengue are at risk of getting a serious disease. This prompted the Health Department to stop the dengue vaccination program. The Senate has already invited experts, Health Department officials, and former Health Chief Janet Garin. A former health official is accusing her of conspiring with Sanofi to hastily implement the program.
It is highly inappropriate for a Secretary of Health to go to Paris and talk to the head of a pharmaceutical.
But Dr. Julius Lecciones, Executive Director of the Philippine Children's Medical Center, comes to Garin's defense. The hospital is the one which directly procured the vaccines from Sanofi. Lecciones says Garin ordered her to do so, but he also explains the deal was never rushed. It also went through a proper bidding even if Sanofi was the only supplier.
Pero kami sa PCMC, for the sake of transparency, pinili naming mag-competitive bidding dahil hindi naman din pinagbabawal sa procurement law ang mag-competitive bidding maski na iisa lang ang supplier.
Lecciones says he is ready to explain it all to the senators on Monday. Garin, meanwhile, has yet to confirm if she's attending the hearing. But the former secretary has said she is ready to face consequences if they prove she was at fault. Rex Remitio, CNN, Philippines.
Still ahead, it's the most colorful time of the year. We give you a peek at the Pride March celebrating LGBT rights. And reigning Miss Universe Damili Nell Peters shines on the catwalk wearing a creation that's proudly Filipino. More stories when Newsroom Weekend returns. Good evening to our Facebook Live viewers. Thank you again for being with us tonight. So I was talking to you earlier about the numerous hearings to watch out for tomorrow. First of all, yung Senate na resumption of the investigation on the dengue vaccine controversy. Mangyayari yan ng 10 a.m. I believe CNN Philippines will carry that live. Again, the invited resource persons are Health Secretary Francisco Duque, former Health Secretary Janet Garin, and officials of Sanofi Pasteur. So sa lower house naman, sa House Justice Committee, i-continue nila yung impeachment hearing against Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno. Expected to appear are SC Justices, si Associate Justice Teresita De Castro, si Noel Tiham, Francis Hardeleza, and retired Justice Arturo Breyon. Tapos sa Senate ulit, yung committee ni Senator Grace Poe, she will tackle the Jeepney Modernization Program. Ito ang iimbitahan nila, or inimbita na nila, at nag-confirm yata na dadalo sila Transportation Secretary Arthur Tugade at si Piston President George San Mateo. Tapos yung may isa pang Senate inquiry, yung sa 8.7 billion pesos scam through the right-of-way claims in General Santos City. Ito yung in-expose ni Justice Secretary Vitaliano Aguirre a few weeks back. Sabi niya, this supposedly involves a relative of former President Noynoy Aquino and a former official in his administration. Tapos yung isa pang Senate hearing sa committee ni ito yung uumpisahan ng committee ni Senator Manny Pacquiao, the Senate Public Works Committee. Siya ang mag-lead nitong investigation na to dito sa 8.7 billion pesos scam sa right-of-way claim sa Gensan. Mag-uumpisa yan at 9 in the morning. Ayan, maraming mangyayari bukas, Now, I can greet some of you. I hope may oras pa tayo dito sa Facebook Live. Si Heyam Avancenia Espino Dewani says, hi from Sweden with love. Oy, salamat. Good evening sa iyo sa Sweden. Tapos si Ian Andes watching from Australia. Si Reynante Zoreta Ray watching from Abu Dhabi. At si Marieta Olivar from Cebu City. And si McLean Cabaneros from Doha. Good evening to you guys. The newsroom's back with more stories. The country wins its bid to co-host the 2023 International Basketball Federation World Cup with Japan and Indonesia. 2023 FIBA World Cup has been trending online, with elated fans taking to Twitter to express their excitement. Taguig Pateros Representative Pia Cayetano, who was among those who led the bid, tweets a photo of herself holding a Philippine flag after making their pitch in Switzerland. Basketball star Kiefer Ravena anticipates a crazy run for the World Cup in the Philippines. Senator Joel Villanueva congratulated Cayetano and the Philippine delegation for winning the bid. Also on Twitter, this one says he's sure FIBA will have no regrets in choosing the Philippines. 16 matches will be played among the 32 countries participating in the tournament at the Araneta Coliseum and the Mall of Asia Arena, while the 50,000-seater Philippine Arena in Bocaue, Bulacan will be used as the venue for the semifinals and the finals. The Ateneo de Manila University celebrated its victory and achievements in the UAAP Season 80. Their bonfire was held last night at the Ateneo Grade School grounds. The Blue Eagles brought back the UAAP men's basketball crown after a 5-year drought. Also honored were the men's judo team and the university swimming teams.
I think this team deserves to take, and they won't do it, but they deserve to take a lot of credit because their work ethic, but more than even their work ethic, was their sacrifice for one another. And that sacrifice, I think, built the strength of this team. So whenever there was tough times, and there was some, it was that willingness to do it for one another which saw us through the tough times. So that makes any team extremely special.
Miss Universe winners rocked a fashion show featuring a collection of indigenous tapestry by one of the country's best designers. Makoy Papioko reports.
Miss Universe 2017 Demi Lee Nell Peters owned the runway in her dress made of indigenous woven fabric. The special charity gala featured creations of renowned Filipino designer Rene Salud, showcasing the artistry of tribal weavers. On the spotlight, piña, Cordilleran fabric, and some Mindanaoan weaves.
It's very, very important that we present the Philippine fabrics abroad. Why? Number one, it's so unique. It's so unusual. It's an advocacy for me because as a Filipino designer, I really have to help in promoting the country through fashion.
Miss Universe contestants from Asia were equally dazzling. The Western beauties wore piña fabric, while Rachel Peters looked just as radiant. Matching their stunning outfits were beautiful sceneries of the country's top tourist destinations as backdrop.
We want them to be the Philippine ambassador on tourism, these girls. So when they go back to their country, they can tell them of our country.
These beauty queens visited the country for a tourism promotion tour. They toured Batanes, Camiguin, and Bohol, among other top destinations. The ladies represent countries considered as the Philippines' key and emerging source markets for tourism. Bring Home a Friend is the tourism department's new campaign, and officials hope these beautiful women would bring along as many friends as possible when they come back. Makoy Popioko, CNN Philippines.
Rainbow colors on the streets as members of the LGBT community gathered for this year's third and final Gay Pride Parade. Held in Quezon City, participants wore colorful clothes and waved pride flags, and the highlight, the Pride March and fashion show. This year's theme is Safe and Free, an AIDS awareness campaign of the LGBT community. It's only a few days away before Simbang Gabi begins, but the St. John Bosco Parish in Makati has already welcomed the Christmas tradition with songs, stories of Christmas, and some fun family time. Trisha Tarada gives us a peek.
Hands clasped in prayer, these children serenaded churchgoers with their angelic voice. It was a Christmas cantata by the St. John Bosco Parish, giving its community a divine treat after the Saturday evening Mass.
This year's cantata is a bit different because it had its own concept of narrating the Christmas story through songs.
I really enjoyed it, especially toward the end. I got very excited about it. It was very nice. I enjoyed it.
Following the musical event, churchgoers enjoyed a spread of Simbang Gabi treats like ham, hot dogs, bibingka, puto bongbong, and of course, batirol. They also shared their hopes for Christmas.
I wish this Christmas, makasama ko dalawang anak ko. Saka my mom. Because I'm not with them. I'm all alone right now. I wish that mabuo kaming pamilya this Christmas.
Sana makabangon na yung mga nasa Marawi. Sana maging maayos na.
Ang wish ko po, magmasaya kami Pasko po kahit wala pong regalo.
While kids share their own wish list.
Good health and happy life.
Sana po maging mabait.
They also enjoyed some family time with games both for kids and adults and witnessed the Belen lighting up.
We have not been back for Christmas for a long, long time, and I would say maybe more than 10 years. So this is really wonderful for us. And to get the Christmas spirit, we feel it, and you can see that everyone also is just enjoying themselves with the family. That's so important.
Just outside the church doors was another treat, a big box where kids can share their blessings by donating their toys. Trisha Tarada, CNN Philippines.
That's what's happening in the newsroom this Sunday, December 10. I'm Mai Rodriguez. Stay with CNN Philippines, where we tell the story of the Filipino. Good night.